Hey gents, Joe here. Thanks for dropping by. If you want to subscribe, it's iPilot 4411. 2 T's at the end of pilot. Well, today we're going to be visiting an old friend, Thunder Tiger Raptor E820. We know Thunder Tiger is a legacy name. It's been around for a minute now. You may not realize it, some of you may realize it, but Thunder Tiger is actually a quality helicopter, which, as you know, it has won some championships. Not like NFL or anything like that. We're talking about like a helicopter event. Quality helicopter with quality parts. Sometimes a bit pricey. The machining is nice on the aluminum. Instead of talking, here's the helicopter, let me bring it in the frame. Raptor E820. Now some of the things that I want to talk about with the Raptor E820, well, we all know it's E820 from this point on. I'm going to just be calling it a Raptor. Some of the things I want to talk about with the Raptor is the head. And as I mentioned in the other video, in one of the videos that I did, I think it was the last one with the T-Rex 700, was this head. I know it looks a little bit, like I said, it looks old school with the mixing arms, but it's pretty reliable. Actually, the head sits further away from the body, so if you want to slap a scale body on this, you'd have enough clearance between the head and the tail boom. And because you do get dampening here, it's actually going to be a smoother flight. It's going to be reliable because, like I said, it has a dampening head. The head is, it's not a rigid head. So it's going to be more reliable. You don't have to worry too much about the dampeners failing or getting soft because they're already absorbing. The head's already flapping. Now, one of the things that I mentioned in one of my flight videos was something that I did to the Raptor. I adjusted it somehow. Not somehow, I know exactly what I did. I didn't like how low the tail was sitting in the ground when it would start to spool up. If I was on dirt, if I was in the grass, if I was on asphalt, whatever surface I was on, if there were any imperfections in it, gravel, if there were something there, a little stone, pebble or something, and if it was near the tail, and as it was spooling up, the tail would kick it and cause a little damage to the tail blades, which was just a little damage. It wasn't a lot of damage, just a little damage. But a little damage over time, repeated little damage, you know what happens. It turns into a big thing, and all of a sudden you got to replace the tail blades because each time you fly the thing, you kick a little pebble out the way, and that compromises the tail, and that's what happened. The tail blades got compromised, and I said, okay, am I going to put another pair of blades on here and it's going to do the same thing? And then, so what I did was this. I cut some foam rubber, not to size, but I cut it enough so that I could compress it, preload it, put it in here, drill some holes through the foam rubber, and then I threw a longer bolt through it. And I did it on both sides, obviously, so you can't do one side. But the thing is, it gave the rear end of the helicopter about a ½ inch more rise than the front. So there's a ½ inch difference. So there's a little rake here. 3/8 to a ½ inch difference from here to here. It's not that much. It's just a little bit. But over 3.5 feet, at the end of that 3.5 feet, 3/8 makes a big difference. It kicks the rear end up. She's raked now. She's got more of an aggressive stance to her. And the tail is clear. So now that the tail is clear, I went ahead and I bought some switch blades. I was able to get those other ones off. I forgot where I put them. I had them somewhere so that I can show it in the video. But I also got to change out this fly barless unit. It's not kicking it anymore. Ever since I put this ESC on there, that fly barless unit, it was good when I was running the Phoenix Ice 160 Phoenix Ice. Something about the power transfer rate was a little different on the Phoenix Ice compared to the Scorpion. Scorpion is a little bit more, and the power delivered to the motor is instantaneous when you're running in governor mode. And that's how I actually ended up stripping the gear out a couple of years back. When I put this on, the power just was right there. It stripped this gear right out. I adjusted the P gain, which stands for power gain. I adjusted that down to the bare minimum. It's not so aggressive in power. It kind of like eases into it a little more, just a little bit more. But I still have to be careful how I get on the throttle, on the collective, because the tail kicks. The tail will kick. It doesn't have the fly barless unit, which is that Hobby King. Nothing wrong with Hobby King. Like I said, it was okay. It was okay for its application, but it just can't handle the torque Has no tail pre-comp. So with that, I gotta get rid of it. I gotta put something else on her. Maybe a B-Stex, the orange one. The only negative thing that I have to say about this is that Thunder Tiger discontinued it. It's not an orphan, it still has a parent company. It's not like the Fusion 50 that is lost. I mean, I'm still gonna find parts for this because Thunder Tiger's still there. The thing is, I have to put some time into getting the parts. I mean, the bigger ones, the bigger birds, it seems like the market is up or the market is down. It depends on what people are doing. Either people want a big bird and they will go for the 800s plus, or the market is down. And the next thing you know, they're getting the little stuff. Oh, people aren't buying the big ones, they stop making them. Then who suffers? I'll give you a hint. He's got 2 thumbs and he's brown. You know what? Let's remove the canopy. And it's off. Like I said, the push-pull thing happening, which is okay. Like I said, I like that. You get better geometry in the travel of the servos. You never really lose it. It never really puts the head in a weird situation. The thing about it, it's still old school setup, but like I said, it's a legacy kind of a thing happening. You're going to find it. All the birds look exactly alike under the canopy. Nothing's really changed. The only things that have really changed is the component. And that's up to you, how you want to do it. Like I said, the components are the only things that change. But other than that, the layout is the same. It's been the same for years. It's a layout that works. The thing is, though, about Thunder Tiger, they don't give you, they tell you how to build it, but they don't tell you where to put the components. You know, I mean, you have all this push-pull stuff happening on both sides, and then in the back, you have the anti-rotation bracket built into the elevator bracket. Can't really run wires through the frame as easy as you would with other helicopters. And then you also have the cavity down here for the battery, and so you got to keep this clear. So with routing your wires, you have to be creative, dare I say. I am going somewhere with all of this Thunder Tiger talk. Thunder Tiger, great helicopter, great airframe, great setup, great head, great everything. I don't really have any qualms with it. Like I said, the only thing is you just got to get creative with the wires. Eventually, I may turn this into a 14S setup, because right now it's a 12S setup, which is okay, but the thing is, it could be better than it is. Why not make it all she could be? Because right now, the motor's not being used to its fullest potential. So stay tuned. Like I said, for the upcoming videos, and I'll explain what I'm talking about with this, and we'll go from there. So as always, I appreciate you dropping by. Appreciate you dropping by iPilot 4411, 2 T's at the end of iPilot. So peace, cheers, see you soon.